Hey guys! So what I have before you today is a illustration of a character made by LAshy on Instagram and on YouTube, and I decided to partake in this Draw This in Your Style because I saw the character, it was amazing and had so much personality in it, and I immediately thought to myself, okay, this is a fun character to draw. I do want to give my own interpretation to this design. The reason I turned it into a YouTube video is because what I want to really emphasize is a certain point that I've been mentioning in a couple of the videos so far right now, and that is to keep art lighthearted, keep it fun, keep it engaging, and to actually answer a question that I get asked quite often by almost every student that I've ever had, and that is, how do you go about networking? How do you break into the industry? If someone asks the question, how do I break into the industry? There's a couple of interesting things that I like to note, and that is most of the people asking this want to know how to break into the industry, but they don't know why yet. If I flip the question and ask them, okay, what is it you want to do in the industry? What job do you want? Quite often the response is going to be something along the lines of, I just want to work as a professional artist, or I want to be a concept artist, or I just want to work professionally, I want to be an industry artist. And these are all such vague statements, because if you ask deeper and you ask, okay, but what is it you want to do in the industry, and you don't have an answer ready, it seems like that's something that you should figure out first before you start asking the question how. Like, for example, if I say I want to work as an industry artist on games like Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is one of my main inspirations. It's one of the favorite projects, one of my favorite games. I really think the art style is so amazing, and that influenced my work so much back in 2020. And that's a much more specific goal to have. That's a type of project that you'd wish to work on. A very heavily stylized painterly video game, which allows me to then be a bit more directed with how I'm going to approach it. And I think direction is an important word to bring to the conversation when wanting to know how to break into the industry. And that sense of direction is very often almost like an afterthought for beginning aspiring artists, because people tend to forget that in order to be a concept artist, you need to be an artist first. So having fun again and having a passion for art, having a passion for a specific thing that you're trying to create is the start of that journey. But let's say we get to the point where we do know what it is that we want to do, and we ask the question again, how do I break into the industry? Again, one of the main pieces of advice that you'll get is going to be network. And to me personally, the advice of, yeah, you need to network falls somewhere in the same category of advice as, for example, you need to be more confident in your artwork. It's just a very vague statement that if you're a beginner artist will probably not even mean something to you. Because how do you network? What does networking mean? And I'd like to propose a different term rather than networking. And I'd like to say, instead of developing a network, let's try developing a community. When people want to say, okay, I want to create a network, I want to develop a network so I can have people that will refer me, so that I can get jobs through other connections that I've made, I think the focus is way too much again on the fact that you want to gain something from someone, from almost like a selfish standpoint. And you might think to yourself, well, it's just a word, so it actually doesn't really matter what you mean, how you say it, community network, what's the difference? But people tend to forget that art is mostly driven by what is in your brain, and you almost need to trick your brain in order to think in a certain way. And keeping it lighthearted, keeping it as something that is fun and entertaining relies very heavily on using the right phrases, the right words in certain situations, like don't network, but look for a community. Because when I ask you guys, like, okay, how do you develop a community? Compare that to how do you develop a network, suddenly the answer is going to be fairly different. A community of people is people that share a sense of passion, that share a common goal, common interests. People that you are generally interested in what they do, not only what they can do for you, but also how they will perform in what they're trying to accomplish. So that sense of community, that sense of belonging somewhere, belonging to a specific group, will be a much stronger driving factor in developing a career eventually and wanting or feeling the need to help each other out. So not a network of people, but a community of people with the same goals, same aspirations, same passions, that will push you forward, that will help you work towards that goal together. To give you an example on this from my own personal experience, I started taking art seriously in, let's say, 2019. And I graduated as a physiotherapist in 2019, decided, art is something that I want to do professionally, let's focus on that for a little bit. And I decided to take a mentorship with Tyler Edlin. But before I took that mentorship, the thing that I did first was I participated in almost all of his challenges of the month back then. Like every month he would host a challenge with a particular subject. If you joined in, you could submit your work, ask for feedback, and by joining that challenge, not only did I suddenly have a reason to improve and I got quality feedback, but because I was a recurring contestant or participant, I started recognizing names, people that were also partaking in the challenge, but also people started recognizing my name, like, oh yeah, Arnie joined again. Here's another work by Arnie. He did great last month, so let's see how he's progressed. And suddenly, that connection that you're making is much more personal, much more close, and that's something that I try to keep going. Like a couple months afterwards, for example, I joined Cynic's Design's Discord server, where I saw a couple of people were challenging themselves to create 5 studies a day for 10 days straight. So basically 50 paintings in 10 days. And I saw that and I thought to myself, okay, that's pretty cool. But also, being competitive as I am, I can do that as well. That was the main thing going through my mind. So I decided to join in, and I talked to those people who were doing that challenge. They talked back to me as well. We got to know each other a little bit, and now that person, Joe, as I know him, but you can find him on YouTube as well as Morokai, is now one of my best friends, or at least my best art friends that I have. Like, we share so much common interest. We spend so much time together studying and improving. We both eventually made our way into a career as an art teacher, as a professional artist. And it's just wonderful to have shared that journey with someone, again, on that more personal level. And that also helps you provide opportunities for each other, because now I care about this person, and if they are looking for a job, then I will do my best to keep an eye out and to send things their way. And that goes in both directions, because that connection, that sense of community is a really strong motivator to just kind of help each other out. Through Joe, I met a lot of different people. My community expanded. I got to meet so many different artists. I've done the same thing that I've done with Joe in different groups. Like afterwards, I went to study in a 1-year concept art course in Belgium, where I met a bunch of new people who, like half of them, are now my colleagues. Again, at the course where I teach at in Belgium. Again, that community that we built is just such a strong foundation to have a bit more of a drive to help each other out. And as things progress, even up till now, for example, like in the last couple of months, I've gotten a couple of job offers. And those job offers came to me through me basically just, again, partaking in challenges. Like I decided to join in on a couple of Draw This in Your Styles, and I somehow managed to work my way into a new community where people have offered me new opportunities as well. So now I am a teacher at ArtWad. I'm a teacher with Tyler still at Bradshaw Studio. And that suddenly has become my central community that I'm now a part of. And it's so much fun to, in this situation, start recognizing those names of those people that continuously come back for feedback, continuously come back for advice, and I can really see how I can help them, how I can benefit them. Because they're part of that community, I suddenly have a much more thorough drive as well to be able to help them out. And it's just so much fun to kind of get to that point where you're excited about how someone else is performing, rather than, again, that selfish reason for what can you do for me. So the way you phrase things, very powerful thing to think about. Whenever you think about a career in art, again, my main advice is going to be keep it lighthearted, keep it entertaining, because one of the main concerns that people tend to have, like for example my non-artistic friends, they tend to ask me, how is it that you still consider your job a hobby? Like, how do you not lose that sense of wonder, that curiosity, that drive to create your own stuff? Because you're doing art the entire day for a living. You're getting paid to do it. Like, how do you still want to create art in your spare time? That's because, again, I really try to focus on the fact that I just love the process. I love creating. I love coming up with new ideas and creating those designs, those paintings that can resonate with people. And because I love the creative process, that's never going to grow old. Like, I always want to keep pushing further, want to keep improving. I just like the feeling of getting better at something that I like doing, which makes sense, right? Like, obviously. So keeping the fun in art is going to be the central point of, I think, this YouTube channel. Like, how do you go about staying motivated? So I would challenge you guys to try to keep being silly, being lighthearted with things that you create. And if you have friends, artistic friends, see if you can, again, challenge each other to new things, partake in these Draw This in Your Styles, partake in these challenges that you see, because challenges are opportunities to meet new people, and it's just so much fun to see how other people would approach the same thing that you're trying to do. In the spirit of keeping things lighthearted, of actually just having fun with art and building community, the thing that I'd like to do now is actually start hosting a little bit of my own challenge. So I would like to propose my own Draw This in Your Style. Again, I've enjoyed so much partaking in these different Draw This in Your Styles. And the character in the past that I've enjoyed designing most is actually my D&D character called Bartholomew. So if you feel like you want to connect to me and perhaps some other people in my community, feel free to design your own or create your own interpretation of this character, draw them yourselves, and submit them on Instagram, tagging me in the message in the post that you're trying to make. So again, I can connect to new people, I can create this new community, which I think is the most wondrous experience in art in general, kind of meeting like-minded people. So consider this me challenging you to create a unique illustration of this character. Let's say the deadline is probably the end of December, so I know the holidays are coming up. So some people might be too busy, but let's say the 1st of January is going to be the deadline to partake in this Draw This in Your Style. The winner will get a personal illustration from me of their character of their choice. So yeah, that should be interesting to kind of get things going. I'm very excited to see what people can come up with. I hope you guys enjoyed this rant about community and just kind of creating this nice artistic hub of people almost. So yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys come up with, and talk to you guys later. Bye bye.